Hi everybody, as you would have seen in the little intro footage there, I actually linked this with a video that is currently live on my 13 Days of Horror channel, which will be linked below for you in case you just want to check out that one particular video, where I did a skull or a skeleton face paint, and I did it using face paints. So in this video I'm definitely going to be using this, which is the Freedom SFX Ghost Stories kit. I am going to use the Ghost Whitener and the Ghost Powder that I also showed. I also might try out this, which is actually new. I did not feature this in my haul. How huge is this? Excuse me, it's huge. So this is the Ghost Powder and that is the Ghost Sculpt. It's huge. I was so pleased when I saw it. So it's from Makeup Revolution and it's basically just a black and a white, and they're really nice, they're really nicely pigmented, and I just thought, well, it's good to have it kind of just in a duo. I'm actually going to do a face painting event for Halloween, or I'm doing a Halloween event where I'm actually running a few sort of activities, and I'm also doing face painting for adults and children. So I've kind of put a kit together of like my face paints, special brushes that I'm only going to use on technically clients, as well as kind of special effects makeup. So I did get like the SFX powder, the Ghost powder, sorry, I got the fake blood. So yeah, I got a few things that were specifically just for the kit. But I've waffled enough and you want to see me create this look, so let's get going. So the first thing to do, and I know it's quite boring because you kind of just want to get straight in there, the first thing to do is to actually do an outline on the face of the skull, because it makes it so much easier when you're colouring everything in rather than doing it all freehand. So to do that, we're going to head over to the Ghost Stories kit. I'm going to be using this white. Okay, so now we've marked the outlines on, which is basically just going around the outline of the face. You've got some hollows here where the empty hollows of the cheeks would be. You can make them any shape you like. I attached it in the corner of the mouth. It looks really effective, but of course your teeth go all the way back, so it's up to you where you want to put that. You could put that further back if you like. I just think it looks quite good there. And then the hollows of the eyes, obviously you're going to paint that black. Anything that you want to do, you can shape the eyes differently if you wanted to. I just go according to my natural orbits of my eyes. So that's where the orbit hole, you can actually feel it if you press on your actual skull, you can feel where these bones are, which is why when we come here, we come down to here, and then you can feel kind of this cheekbone coming in, and that's why that swoops out and curls round. This creates kind of like that round plump cheek sort of effect. And then of course you've got to draw on the nose because you have the two triangle parts on the nose, because there is a bone down the centre of your nose. Some people just do a straight black nose, but there is a bone there. So that is the basic sort of structure of it. Now we're going to go on and we're going to use the Freedom Ghost Whitener, and I'm just going to use a flat brush, and I'm going to paint in the sections that need to be painted in white. Okay, so I've painted in half of the face there, so just so you can see very clearly where those hollows are. Now that is too coarse. I've kind of, as you can see in the footage there, I've just kind of gone over it and then gone over it again. It is not fully opaque like a white face paint would be, so you would need to layer it, but I think with the ghost powder on top of this, it is going to be really opaque, so I'm not going to go any further than that. You can see some spots where it is a little thinner than others, but it's okay. The bits where it's more obvious that the skin's shown through, I'll just use what's left on my brush and go over those. Yeah, that's half the face. I'm going to go ahead and do the rest of the face and then I'll be right back. Yeah, things are starting to take shape now. That is the whole face filled in. Now it is still damp. I'm going to allow that to dry a little bit. And then, using a powder brush, I am going to set it in place with the ghost powder. It will need that because it's technically really just a white foundation. It doesn't have the same opacity as a white face paint, so you will not get the same effect. But I think once the powder on, you will get a really, really nice effect, and it will fill in some of the areas where it's a little bit thinner. But I think you might agree that actually that is really, really excellent coverage. The full size of this is £3. The one that I've used today is just the smaller size that came in the Black Swan kit. So I've used that today. I still have a good amount left on the back of my hand there. I probably put out a bit much. I've got an itchy nose now. I'll just itch it with my brush. Put out a bit more than I really needed to. Now if you want to use a brush, the Real Techniques in the original set had a flat foundation brush which was like kind of a triangular shape. Amazing for applying kind of cream products all over the face like this. But if you had any kind of brush, a sponge even, but I just kind of used a flat brush. You can get these flat foundation type of brushes anywhere, but this is an amazing brush. It's actually the first time this year that I'm actually really getting to probably use my Sigma SFX kit, the brush set, which is really great. But you can just use any brushes for this, which is the whole point of this kind of tutorial, which is to show you that you can do these kinds of looks with high street makeup. So I am going to go and fan myself off and try and dry this down so that I can stick some powder over the top, and we will be right back. Okay, that is powdered. So it doesn't matter where it's gone over into these bits because we're going to fill them in now. I'm going to use the cream on top of here anyway. So I'm going to go around with the black liner, outline all these shapes before we fill them in. Okay, so you can see I've outlined all of those black shapes there. I've actually added a crack into the top of the skull. That's optional, you can put cracks in wherever you like. Some people put them around the orbits of the eyes, some people put them on the nose. It's wherever you want to put those cracks. But that is what it looks like. I'm not going to do the outline of the rest of the face because I'm actually just going to use the black cream colour to do around the outline of the face. And I have made the skeleton bigger than the last one, so there's not this light black line along the bottom of the chin. That is optional to you as well if you want to make that a different shape. Then that's good. I mean, this is the shape of my skull, so I've pretty much kept it pretty much anatomically correct for me. Apart from these, but I really like these sort of hollows. So anyway, that's that, and now we're going to fill them in with black. So what I'm using for that is the black from this Ghost Stories kit, which is this one here, which is technically the bottom one. So we're going to use that, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that same brush that I used for the white. So I'm just going to wipe off the white. It's not hugely opaque on first attempt, but oh, that's better. I've picked up a little bit more product there. If you feel more comfortable using a smaller brush here, then definitely do that. And you just want to fill it, of course, to the edges. And yeah, going to fill in the whole of the rest of the holes in my face, and we'll come back and do some shading then. Okay, that's the black all filled in. You can see it's starting to look really effective now, but you definitely need shading to kind of bring it all to life because it looks very flat at the moment. So what we're going to do for that is going to use the cream shadows out of this palette, and I'm going to use the grey from the Ghost Stories kit. Again, it's upside down, but it's this top one here. It's a really nice grey. Just going to dive into that one and do some detailing on the face. So basically you want to come along here onto this line here and then give it a little bit of a blend. The jawbone is hinged, so there is a line there. We're going to do a little bit of detailing around the eye area also, so just a little bit underneath here. Kind of a reverse contouring in a way, because this line here is kind of where the top of your cheekbone is, and it kind of is, it just indicates that there's kind of some texture there and some raised sort of bone. These smudge are definitely better with a brush than they do with a finger. When you use your finger they just seem to disappear a little. Going on, gonna do some kind of lines here. And above, but this is just kind of the temple bone. Make sure you smudge those out. You don't want harsh lines. And as you can see, that just starts to bring forward some of the features and kind of lift it, which is definitely what you want. You don't want it to look really, really flat. Next you want to work on the teeth. You're going to use grey again for this, and you want to draw the lines of the teeth on the mouth. I can't speak while I do this, so I'll put the footage in now for me adding that in, and then we'll add some more detail. Oh, there's the teeth. That definitely adds a bit more creepiness factor to it. Don't be afraid to go long with the lines on these, because your teeth go right up into your gum. So they are actually they're very long teeth. So, and it really makes it much more effective overall. You want to then go in with some black, but you want to just don't go too heavy. Don't get too excited. You just want to create a little bit of more depth. Don't take it all the way up. Just keep it lower on the lines. The great thing with this Ghost Whitener is it's really still quite soft under here, so you can actually do some blending after the fact. And that is basically it really. You can sharpen up some of the edges if you want to of the black, and you can actually add a powder over the top if you want to really set it in place, and a setting spray. But the only other thing that I would do is to go around the edges with the black shade, just so that if you like kind of tie your hair back, you're gonna have to go into your hairline with this. So if you don't want to, I mean, it'll wash off, but it's up to you about whether you're going to need to wash that off straight away if you're going to work the next day or school. So you might not want to do that, but the black around the edge, once you get your hair kind of scraped back, and you'll see once I get the hoodie on, the black is really effective inside the black hoodie, because it just kind of even further sinks your face back and then just makes it look like you are just basically a skull. So I'll fill around the edges of that, and then yeah, I'll put the hoodie on and we'll get to see the final look. So I'm going to try and see what this Ghost Sculpt black powder is like. Just going to use like a small brush. It's quite, I would imagine it's probably quite buildable, because you don't really want to like probably do your whole neck with the black cream in the palette, because you are going to end up using quite a lot of it. But this makeup I think would move and transfer, because it still does feel very creamy to the touch. Whereas face paint's dry completely, this Ghost Whitener doesn't like dry down completely matte. The reason I'm showing you a hoodie in this video rather than a cape is you may not have a cape or want to buy a cape just for the sake of going to one thing. So something like a hoodie, a sweatshirt with a hood, is going to be probably something that would be the best option for you. Now you can get the gloves very, very cheaply. I'm not sure if you can get them in the pound shop, but you can certainly get them in B&M and certainly cheaper shops where they are the black with the skeleton hands on the back. But that would probably finish things off quite nicely, because obviously the hands don't match the face. It's quite effective. I mean, it's very obvious exactly what you are, and it's really quite simple to do once you get the outline on. It's just a case of filling everything in and doing a little bit of shading to add a little bit of detail. Like I said, you will want to colour your ears. It depends on what you've got on. I mean, I've got my hair up. The clip is probably not helping. See? That definitely hangs better now, but I would definitely do my ears as well. Just so that you can't see them once they're inside the hoodie. You could put a black wig on there if you really wanted to colour, you know, cover your hair colour if you had really light hair colour. Anyway, I'm waffling now. I'm gonna go. I really hope you've enjoyed today's video. So thank you very much for watching as always. Please do check out my other channel if you want to see any more of this kind of video. And the link to the other one, which is done with face paint, is also in the information bar below. I do recommend that you do set your cream on your eyes with the black shadow that is actually in the palette, because this is prone to creasing. You may have seen in some of those previous shots there in the video that there was some creasing, so you definitely want to set that in place. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. I'm going to love and leave you and see you all soon. Hope you're having a great day wherever you are and whatever you are doing. Bye!